All right, music fans and other people, welcome to the channel. I'm skipping the intro. All right, not in the mood for the intro today. Yesterday was a dark day for our country. I figured I would take to this platform because it has a larger reach. I do have another channel. I don't know if I will post this over there, but the content tends to be different most of the time. But yesterday was such a big deal, and watching that footage over and over again. Going into this election, I was thinking to myself, I voted for Donald Trump twice. I think maybe it's time to maybe vote for like RFK or do something different, right? I don't know if I'm going to do that now. Um, Look, folks, for the first 3 years of Trump's presidency, 2017, 2018, 2019, and a little bit into 2020, right? We all know what happened in March of 2020. Um, Things were pretty good. All right. Things were actually pretty good. Nobody really talks about that properly because Trump says, greatest economy in the world and all that stuff. Just tout the fact that you did really well for those 3 years. That fourth year was one of the worst years of everybody's life, right? Some people, maybe not. But for me and my family, 2020 was really bad. And Donald Trump was the president. So, was it Truman says the buck stops here? But in light of what happened yesterday and the lack of proper reaction, we get media outlets saying Donald Trump was shot at yesterday, but he's okay. Donald Trump was hit yesterday. Yeah, it just grazed his ear. That was a God thing. He turned his head just a little bit, and that might have prevented him from, meeting his maker. And by the way, my thoughts and prayers are with Trump. Also, don't forget there was a victim at this event who got shot and died. And I think someone else got critically injured. So let's not forget those people at all. I hear a lot of reporting, and I hear a lot of stuff about how Trump survived and it was awesome. But don't forget that there are victims here. This shooter guy, I'm waiting to hear about what type of psychotropic medication he was on. That's what I'm waiting to hear about that. Um, haven't heard any weird today. Haven't heard any calls for gun control because it's Trump, right? They're shooting at Donald Trump. So, hey, shoot those guns, man. Guns are great. Folks, our country right now is so screwed up when it comes to politics. The rhetoric about Trump becoming a dictator. All right. You say that over and over. Look, we've already had Trump as president. Like he goes back and it's going to be revenge and it's going to be, yeah, he said a lot of things that are inflammatory about his return, retribution. He uses that word a lot. Um, Political retribution. It happens every time a new president takes over. They appoint their people, they fire the old people, and they go on a different path. Biden opened up the border, opened it up when he became president, just let them all in. And nothing's really changed. Trump wants to go and close it down. RFK, who I like, also wants to close it down. I'm just flabbergasted at how tribal and mean and vitriolic and nasty and ridiculous people have become. I say at the end of a lot of the videos, I say, pray for peace. I mean it. I'm totally sincere. Pray for peace. You don't like what's going on in the Middle East? Pray for peace. Are you on this side of that argument? Pray for peace. Are you on the other side of the argument? Pray for peace. Work toward peace, right? So we're not working toward peace in this country. We got people on, I don't want to say the left. I don't know where it is. It's there's right and there's left, and then there's in a different dimension toward the left side of the spectrum, just off the charts, saying, man, it's really disappointing that they missed. If Joe Biden gets shot, that would be horrible for this country. It would be an absolute nightmare for the country. Nobody wants to see their president get shot. In the case of Joe Biden, on top of all the elder abuse that he's had to endure by being put in situations that aren't appropriate for someone in his mental condition, shooting him would be like another act of abuse and just out of control. I'm like I told my wife, I'm like, I feel sorry for Joe Biden. He shouldn't be in this situation. I don't agree with any of his policies, by the way. Just want to clarify that. I know the rock community thinks that democracy is under attack because Donald Trump is going to do his version of stuff, but they don't blink or bat an eye when Joe Biden has this DOJ that appears to be very corrupt and abusive and out of control. And there are a lot of questions this morning about how the Secret Service responded to the shooter. I'm wondering if they got their training after watching the Uvalde Police Department do their thing. I mean, they had the guy in their sights and they waited. So it's they had pictures of these guys on the roof of just waiting, and the guy was shooting. So I'm not sure what took so long. They did take him out, and apparently he's a Republican. He's one of them never Trump type Republicans, probably. I don't know. Again, we need a toxicology report because my guess is he's probably on some type of psychotropic medication, like most of them are. And then there's probably a manifesto somewhere. And, again, inflammatory language being used. This is like, remember when Sarah Palin said to put a bullseye on these people and circled it? And then there was a shooting somewhere close to where that person was. And then they blamed Sarah Palin, right? Who has trouble rubbing two brain cells together. They blamed her for that. And so, the other side's kind of doing it now because, again, Donald Trump isn't going to be a dictator if he becomes president. He's not. I mean, folks, we need to dial the temperature back. We need to turn the heat down. I don't agree with everything that Donald Trump does and says. I'm on record saying that multiple times. When you look at what we have to choose from, a lot of people are going to easily make that choice and pick Donald Trump, especially after the events of yesterday. That picture that they got of him, the blood coming down his cheek, it's going to sell a lot of framed artwork and a lot of T-shirts or whatever else. I mean, look, I'm not one of these guys that is saying that there's divine intervention, because you're going to get a lot of people that will say, hey, that's definitely the hand of God working there. Could be. I don't know. But it is kind of weird how he just turned his head a little bit at the right time. It's also weird that these things keep happening where he seems to get away from it. Like the prosecutions, the thing in New York that most people are like, really? Why didn't you bring that thing in 2016? Why didn't you air out all that? If you really didn't want him to be president, why didn't you do that stuff in 2016? Why did you wait? Because they know they have such a bad candidate in Joe Biden who can barely function, right? His other speech, the big boy speech or whatever that he had to do, didn't go well. He called Zelensky Putin. If anyone saw that, they realized, oh no, oh no, he's doing it again. So people look at Trump like, okay, this is better than that. Could we do better in general? 100%. That's why I like RFK. But again, a lot of people have problems with him. Does he have a legitimate chance to win? The Democrats and Republicans have kind of set this up where they're the only two parties that can accumulate the votes to win. And there may be some truth to the fact that you can't do a third party. or you can, but it's not going to work. You have to have a huge groundswell, and you've got to have years of planning. I mean, these third parties, they still have to work every single time to get on the ballot every 4 years. So it's going to be tough. I like him, though. I like him. He's a statesman. He makes statements about things, about issues that are high above where the tribes are when they talk about politics these days. He sounds like a statesman, and the country's probably not ready for a statesman. They want the WWE, and I don't like that about our politics. I don't like it. But in moments like this, people should come together. They shouldn't be angrier. The sides shouldn't be more polarized. They should look at the situation and go, "Oh, they almost killed former President Donald Trump yesterday. I think things have gone too far. Let's dial it back." I don't agree. People can say, I don't agree with Donald Trump, but this is ridiculous. And it needs to stop. And so, anyway, we may just find out that this particular person has mental health issues. And we have a mental health crisis in this country. It's everybody is on something. Everybody is taking something because behavior modification is no longer done at like the human level, where the human being is required to make those changes and adjustments themselves. There's a medication for that. If you haven't turned on your television, there's a medication for that. If you're watching Wheel of Fortune, you'll get 6 commercials about how you can lower this or increase this or give you more pleasure doing that. It's insane. We are just medicating each other to the point where that's the only way we can function. And then we have a society that is so crazy that people themselves are like, yeah, give me the medication. Give me the medication. And there's no self-improvement at the human level. It's all somebody with a pill who's going to come and save the day. So it'll be interesting to find out what was in this man's system at the time of the shooting. Pray for, again, the guy who got killed and his family, because that's somebody that you're not going to hear too much about. And then there's somebody else in critical condition, I believe. There was an interview with an ER doctor who was there and saw the guy get shot in the head. And apparently there's a brain matter, and this was just really rough. And he tried everything. Obviously, at that point, he's just doing what he thought he could do to try to help. And it was too late. But there are some really good people in the world who instinctively know to do what's right. I think the Secret Service, for the most part, that was with Donald Trump, did a pretty good job. All right. The people, though, watching the shooter, hanging out on the roof, I don't know if they got their training from the Uvalde Police Department, but they should have acted a little bit faster, I think. So, again, folks, sorry for this content. If you're looking to find out about how Sammy Hagar and his band did last night in, what was it, Fort Lauderdale? I think they did well. I saw some footage. I think they did all right. But in the meantime, we've got some big issues here in this country, and people need to just turn the heat down, turn the volume down, just chill out. Politics has become ridiculous, and we need to just take care of ourselves, take care of our families, take care of things at the local level. Don't put your faith and trust in one man here on this planet to just fix everything, because that's not going to happen. The only one that can really set this right is Jesus himself. And for some folks, that's just wishful thinking, right? But seriously, that's the only hope we have is Christ. So Thoughts and prayers to the people that need them, real prayers, not just arbitrary prayers. Like, get down on your knees and pray. Seriously. Just stop for a moment. Thank God for your food today, but thank God for the blessings that you have and the safety that you have if you have it, because that can change in an instant. And pray for Donald Trump. I bet you he's going to go out there again. I bet you he's going to be defiant and go out there again. And who knows? They'll take another shot. They will. And this is ridiculous that we're at this point. Um, I would probably advise the former president to stay inside. Um, anyway, that's my video. God bless everyone, and I will be back. Talk to you soon.